sound journey. All very good in a great Group 1 Cadbury Guineas.
Having a look at what's happening in the Australian Cup, runners still not in the yard. They put on some music here. We didn't even get to the national anthem. I'm assuming that's to come when they're out on the track. We are 5 minutes from start time, so there is obviously going to be a delay for the Australian Cup here. Of course, the Group 1, the Darley Australian Cup over the 2,000 metres. Number 3, Sermione, is now just out to 3.90, and Princess Cope, as we said before the break, 2.60. Miss Finland out to $5.50. So it's a pretty interesting betting race here, Steve.
Certainly is, Caroline. These horses still not in the yard here at Flemington, somewhat surprisingly. Officially, we're only 6 minutes out, but we'll see these horses very shortly as we await the field to step into the mounting yard for the Australian Cup. We might have a look at Princess Cope and Sermione. They quinelled the McKinnon, of course, here in the spring, and ditto in the St George at Caulfield. Let's refresh our memories about the respective runs this day.
Up the ante, and 2 lengths to Red Lord. Coming to the bend, Maldivian went up on the inside of Tiranabar, who left the rail, and Big Mal strikes the front on the corner. Seafarer a length away, captures the outside from Ruby Scent. Princess Cape peels to the outside, and Giro Valley right down the outside from Sermione. Down to the 300 metres mark, and Maldivian strode away. Princess Cape is mowing him down. Princess Cape, the New Zealand mare, went whoosho and hit the lead. Sermione's running on the fence. Princess Cape in front. Sermione's diving. Princess Cape in front and makes up for her lucky run in the Orr Stakes and wins the St George from Sermione. Third a photo.
Oh, look, she took the honours that time. Sermione probably held up for a stride or two there on the turn. He came to the inside, but she just had a good turn of foot, I thought, there compared to Sermione, compared to the McKinnon Stakes, where it was pretty much the other way around.
Yeah, certainly the case. I think one of the two will win. It's hardly putting my neck on the chopping block. I do think Douro Valley has got a winning chance in the race. I'm not sure about the mighty Miss Finland. I know she was much better last week, but I'm just questioning that form from the futurity to some degree. But the Australian Cup, now the official start time is 4:15.
It has been put back, just a delay with the presentation of the previous race there, the Australian Guineas. But it is going to be interesting too. Douro Valley in the far lap colours, of course, the late Jack Hurry, the former bookmaker, Margaret Hurry, his wife, offering those colours to the connections of Douro Valley. So that will be fascinating to see him going out in those wonderful far lap colours. Miss Finland as well.
I think Alan Descant is ready for us in the betting ring. What's happening there, Al?
Oh, we do need that upset, Steve. I tell you, the bookies are doing it tough. I can't imagine the punters will be too sympathetic, but we're doing it tough. In the betting ring, number 3, Sermione, is $3.50 out to $3.90. Miss Finland, $3.50 out to $5.50. Princess Cooper's just had steady support. It's been $2.50 out to $2.60, but very, very steady support. Probably the best backed, even though the price doesn't reflect it. Fiumicino, $8.50 to $11, and Douro Valley's been nibbled at $12, $7 out to $12. But I mean, they're backing lots in this race, as you'd expect in such a great Group 1 race.
Thanks, Alan. Alan Descanter there in the betting ring. My heart bleeds for them. I'm sure they're still counting from Melbourne Cup week. But here we go. We're about 7 minutes away now from the Australian Cup.
Number 1 is Fiumicino, of course, the Derby winner in Sydney from last year by Zabeel out of Latte. She's a half to Brew, the Melbourne Cup winner out of the mighty Horlicks. John Hawkes has retained Fiumicino for Nick Moratis and produced very good times in the Orr. Then he did run on well in the St George, and he'll certainly appreciate this step up to 2,000.
He will indeed. I guess it's a measure of the improvement, isn't it? How much improvement has he taken from the St George Stakes? Third run back this afternoon, the AJC Derby winner, career interrupted by EI. And tactically, what will they do? I remember him leading one day to win a race at 1,900 metres at Canterbury. Now, that's another trick to this year's Australian Cup. How will they settle? Look, he's ready to run a much better race.
Number 2, Douro Valley. There are those famous far lap colours on board James Winks there on Douro Valley. He won the listed Naturalism, and he is a half to a James Carr winner in Stellamac, this fella, and he was pretty good in the St George, finishing third behind Princess Cope.
I'm surprised he's $12 on track. He's $10.80 on the tote. I think he should be nearer Princess Cope and Sermione in the market. His run in the St George was very good, second up. Third up, of course, in the spring, he won the Naturalism, beating Maldivian. His previous third up run was a second to Maldivian in the Easter Cup. He's right in the mix for mine, Douro Valley.
Number 3 is Sermione. This 4-year-old bay in Costa de Lago for Bart Cummings, and of course he's going for his 13th Australian Cup. He did beat Princess Cope, as we mentioned, in the McKinnon, although he's a big strong horse. I think we might be going to see another of these duels we've seen so far today with the same horses back to back in races.
Well, it's been the theme, and it could well happen here. His run on the St George was terrific. Just balked at the top of the straight as Princess Cope was gathering full momentum. He beat her, of course, in the McKinnon back here on Derby Day. He looks in terrific shape, Sermione.
Number 4, Coalesce, out to 100 to 1 by Zabil. Or Winkers go on. Here he's a brother to Bazil Bay, who won a Group 1 Emirates. He does need to improve on his most recent runs, though.
Well, he certainly strips fitter, and he gets to the right distance range. He had terrific middle distance form last preparation. He can race a little handier at this trip. The Winkers go on. He's got the gouch, who loves rolling along on the speed, but he certainly has to lift on what we saw last week.
Same situation applies for number 5, Taranabar. We know he's got the ability. He won a Group 1 Spring Champion Stakes in Sydney by Anabar out of Tristera. She's out of a Caulfield Cup winner in Impazira, and Anthony Cummings, I'm sure, has him fitter here.
Well, he led all the way, of course, when he won the Spring Champion. He led when he ran third in the Derby. He was poor in the St George. The old-fashioned trick this week from the trainer, schooling him over the jumps. Whether that might be enough to sharpen him up remains to be seen.
Number 6 is Captures by Istidard, the Australian Cup winner in 1999 out of Viva La Rose. She was out of Minuetto, a very good race mare. And this horse here, a good solid customer, maybe not quite up to these, perhaps.
Possibly not. Some very important information too through from the Chief Steward. The connections of Miss Finland have advised that she'll be ridden more forward here this afternoon if she begins well. So that's the key, and that might alter the complexion of the race. So if she begins well, Miss Finland to go forward. Captious is one who might roll forward here. Every possible chance in the St George. Country Cups type form through the spring. You wouldn't think he was quite good enough, but as we mentioned, this race can throw up an upset.
It can. Number 7 is Casino Prince, 4-year-old stallion by Flying Spur out of Lady Capel, who's a half to Just Awesome. And this fella, of course, won the Alastair Clark, also a Skyline Stakes. Another with ability, close up in the Ore off the wide draw, and then had no luck in the Futurity.
Well, he pulled hard in the early stages of the Futurity, found trouble, and Stephen King didn't punish him when he was clearly beaten. So that's interesting. Anthony Cummings remains reasonably optimistic that we can see the best of him. He's on trial at this distance today.
Number 10, we'll have a look at Princess Cope a little bit later, but her trainer, Mark Walker. Bruce, she always seems to win when he's on track.
Yeah, Mark here, and your jockey, Damien Oliver's 2 frustrating Group 1 seconds, so I think he's got the eye of the tiger there this afternoon.
Yeah, he's pretty relaxed still, though, so that's the main thing. He'll give her every chance.
The mare's nice and relaxed as well. She's coping with the heat okay?
Yeah, no, she's good. She's been over here for a while now, so she's bred in Australia and she's been back here a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we saw Sermione and you do battle in the McKinnon Stakes here, went the way of Sermione, but you've got excuses from that day?
Well, he might have just gone taken off a bit soon, but that's in the past, and it's 1-1, so we'll see how we go. But I thought Miss Finland looked well as in the ring as any.
But yours looks well, and it should be hard to beat. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Mark Walker, trainer of Princess Cope, spotting Miss Finland looking a treat in the yard, Caroline.
Indeed, the 2 mares both look sensational. We'll get down to Princess Cope and Miss Finland in a minute. There is number 8, Ruby Scent by Rubiton, of course, the Underwood winner, the Group 1 in the spring. Had a couple of runs, but hasn't really shown too much. Craig Newitt, though, going for 3 in a row in the Australian Cup after winning with Roman Arch and Pompey Ruler.
And that's a good point, and he rides this horse well, Ruby Scent. And look, he had no apparent excuse in the St George Stakes. Every chance it seemed in the run. Could he turn it around? I wouldn't think so, but he's favourably drawn. He can go forward. Craig Newitt back aboard.
And as we just heard from the birthday boy, Des Gleeson, 61 today. Happy birthday to you, Des. Of course, Miss Finland is going to be ridden more forward if she does jump well. So a change of tactics there for this mighty mare by Redute's Choice out of Forest Bell. Winner of 5 Group 1s, and it is a do or die today if she doesn't win. This is her last racetrack appearance.
Interesting comment from Mark Walker, wasn't it, the trainer of Princess Cope, that he felt that no horse looked better in the yard than Miss Finland. She is blooming. Her run last week was certainly better. Gets to 2,000 metres, which is certainly suitable for her. It is D-Day. I tell you what, the punters here on track, not interested. in the Mighty Miss. She's $3.50 out to $6.50.
Princess Cope also just drifting out to $2.70. She won the New Zealand Oaks, the Kelp Capital, the Group 1, and of course the St George last start. And I really liked her turn of foot. I'm not sure Sermione, if they're in a battle, I'm not sure that he is going to be able to get past her, but it's going to be a fascinating duel if it turns out that way.
Well, she is the obvious. We've seen her twice this spring. She should have won first up, without question. The other unlucky runner in that race to some degree was Nicanero, who did step out and win the Futurity. Then we saw her win the St George quite emphatically, even if you do argue that Sermione was a touch unlucky. Look, she's in great shape, and as Bruce points out, Damien Oliver has been aboard the runner-up in the 2 Group 1 races thus far this afternoon. He's fired up.
And he's yet to win at the new Flemington as well. She looks great. Of course, she was raised by Mill Park Stud in South Australia at Meningie, so she's certainly used to the heat from her early days. Princess Cope by Encosta de Lago out of the triple listed winning mare in Stonyfell Road. And she is your top selection still.
Certainly is. Great record in the Guineas and the Newmarket. Damien Oliver yet to win an Australian Cup, yet to win here on the new surface. I think he might break through here in the Group 1 Australian Cup. Princess Cope on top for me, ahead of Sermione. And if you've just joined us and you're curious, now this horse, Princess Cope, is owned by a gentleman whose name is Ray Copeland, Coupland, hence Princess Cope. Sermione, a little nibble for him on track. He got to $3.90. There's the totes across the board, across the country. $3.80, $4, on course. Best bet $3.90, back into $3.80. And Princess Cope is $2.50 out to $2.70. No interest in Miss Finland, no interest in Douro Valley.
And Princess Cope, $2.70. She still remains the favourite here for the Darley Australian Cup. They are moving in for this fantastic race. It's going to be another great battle here between any number of these horses. They are all top-class horses, and they're about to jump in the Australian Cup. Here's Terry Bailey for the call.
Thank you, Caroline. A terrific feature coming up, the final of our features, as Phil Machino moves forward. Taranabar comes up. Casino Prince has the blue cap on, and he's about to move into the barrier stalls. Ruby Scent comes along. So speed of the race. Miss Finland, she normally misses the kick. She's normally a slow horse out of the gate, so they want to go forward if she jumps. Well, that's the big question, and she's drawn out. Coalesce will be handy. Taranabar captious on speed. Ruby Scent won't be far away. Sermione and Princess Cope, they're one apiece. There's little between the pair, and the market says there's $1 between them on track, $3.20. In fact, $2.80 versus $3.80. Miss Finland, if she wins today, she's on her way again. If she doesn't, it's to the barn. Set for the Darley Australian Cup, they're off. Miss Finland jumped beautifully wide out on the track, and Williams very positive early on. She's running 5th. Fast out to Ranabar. Ruby Scent Coalesce in the centre going forward. Captious wide. Phil Machino next. Miss Finland's 3 deep behind Captious with cover. Douro Valley in the centre. Princess Cope 2 lengths away. Sermione outside of her. And Casino Prince jagged out to last. Through the first 400 to Ranabar, nice and keen from Coalesce. Sitting up 3rd on the outside, Captious. Ruby Scent the run of the race. They were followed by Miss Finland. She's 3 wide and she won't get in, I don't think. On the fence, Phil Machino, then Douro Valley, a length Princess Cope, Sermione and 2 lengths away, Casino Prince in the Australian Cup. They run up past the 1200 metre marker and come down the side. Taranabar leads them up at a pretty even tempo by 2 lengths the gap. Sitting up second is Coalesce, 2 lengths away, then is Captious. Ruby Scent on the fence. Miss Finland, if she's to come back in a blaze of glory, she's going to do it the hard way. Douro Valley's got her posted out 3 wide. Phil Machino on the fence. Sermione's on the outside. Mertens has got Oliver in a pocket here on Princess Cope, and 2.5 lengths away Casino Prince up before the bend. 800 metres left to run in the Cup, and the front runner Taranabar by a length on Coalesce, who's come off the bit. On the rail, Ruby Scent's had a glorious run from Captious. Then Phil Machino, Miss Finland tracking out wide from Douro Valley. Sermione's about to come to the outside. Ollie plays for luck on Princess Cope, and 2 lengths away Casino Prince as they thunder for home at the 400. And Miss Finland wide out is going after Ruby Scent. Captious the centre. Sermione's coming with a great run on the outside. He's trying to weave the needle going through on Princess Cope, but Sermione let down, and Bart's Boy exploded away at the 250. He's looking for his 13th Australian Cup. Running to second, Casino Prince from Miss Finland. Look at Sermione go. Opens the shoulders up. He's roaring away. It's another one for Bart. And Sermione for Peter Mertens wins the Cup and wins it brilliantly. Princess Cope, no luck. She ran second from Casino Prince. A good margin away then to Giro Valley. Miss Finland, you a game. Thul Machino behind those from Ruby Scent captures a long gap coalescent to Ranabar.
Another great training performance by the master, Bart Cummings Sermione, his 13th Australian Cup winner. And have a look at this horse just stretch up. Princess Cope desperately unlucky. She was chopped out on the turn and she still managed to run on the inside of Casino Prince, who also put up a good performance. But Sermione can't Bart train the winner of a cup here at Flemington.
That's extraordinary. 13 Australian Cups. Look, she might have been unlucky, Princess Cope. She wasn't unlucky not to have won. Sermione has produced a career best performance and blitzed them. And I would say this is a career best ride from Peter Mertens. He outgunned Damien Oliver here this afternoon. Fantastic stuff. He copped a little bit of flack after the St George. Great ride for Peter Mertens, who celebrated his birthday earlier this week. Well, Bart, he has a birthday on Australian Cup Day every year, it would seem.
There's Peter Mertens, his hands up in the air, waving the whip after taking victory here on Sermione. Another Group 1 for Encosta de Lago as well, out of a defensive play mare in a World Guide. And oh look, he's something special here, this horse. He's really hit fantastic form here, and Bart is now with Bruce.
Thanks very much, Carolyn. Bart Cummings, well, you've won 12 of these with some of your superstars, but I don't think any of them have been as impressive as that performance.
No, well, it was surprising how well he won. I don't know. I think the others mightn't be quite as good as we thought, perhaps. I don't know.
So that performance did surprise you?
It did, yes. I thought he'd win by, you know, half a head or whatever, or half a length, but that was quite impressive.
Well, you won your first back in '68. It's been 10 years since your last one, and you might get the knack of it by now, do you reckon, Bart?
I think I'm learning of age, yeah.
Yeah, take this horse back to Sydney, or does he prefer the Melbourne one?
No, he can go Sydney way, but well, he was a bit unlucky in the Queensland Derby. He went pretty wide, and he only just peaked about 10 yards to the post. The stableman won't happen to win, but the BMW might be a nice race up there. Wait for age for him. That's what I think. You know, it's $1 million race, and it's coming into the autumn now, and it's a nice space. It'll be about appropriate thing to do.
Peter Mertens, his association with you hasn't been for that long. How did he become associated with Sermione?
Well, he did what I told him, where some of the others hadn't done so, and the result's been marvellous.
We'll see you back in the spring chasing another Melbourne Cup, perhaps with Sermione.
You look fit and well, perhaps I will.
I hope so. Good on you, Bart. Well done. Bart Cummings, 13 Australian Cups, and probably none as impressive. We've seen Dane Ripper brilliant in the race, Saintly brilliant in the race, but Carolyn, Sermione, outstanding.
Now, I think we'll see Bart back here, that's for sure. He'll be 81 round about Melbourne Cup time. And
this week, the father of 6, and now he joins with Bart Cummings to share his 13th and another Group 1 for Peter Mertens. Of course, Pete had the ride in the McKinnon Stakes when Sermione was successful there. Comes back again, and a dominant performance today, beating the unlucky Princess Coupe and Casino Prince from back. So the Cummings name first and third. But Peter Mertens, you won't get a Group 1 easy, and that was outstanding performance.
It didn't feel easy. When I hit the front a long way out, I thought, geez, I better keep going here. Had a little look at the screen and I saw as well, Clear, so it was great.
When he let go, didn't he go?
He did. Like, he came off the bridle a little just before the home turn. But as soon as I got him on the outside of Miss Finland, he just sprouted wings. It was a real good feeling.
A lot better performance than his previous Group 1 in the McKinnon.
Well, that was pretty good. That was pretty special, but that one topped it.
Yeah, birthday this week for you, Pete. Special to cap it off with the Group 1.
Yeah, I kept the lid on it all week, so I'll be coming off tonight.
Good on you, Pete. Well done.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Peter Mertens, winning jockey here, and it's been that sort of day, Carolyn, and as we'll come back to